we have a lot to unpack in this video. Let's start with something very, very interesting and important at the moment, very, very serious. So they are going to be using F-35. Israel is going to be using F-35 to strike any missile coming to Israel and perhaps to use it against Iranian assets itself. But when you use F-35, guys, you have to understand this is getting very, very serious. So Israel now, because they lack in personnel, they have called up 50,000 additional reserve troops in preparation for possible war with Hezbollah. So you can see they're all ready. These men, they mean business. I mean, they're from Israel, but they know what they're facing. That's the point. And then we also have U.S. They have deployed USS Wasp deployment to Mediterranean, unraveling, I should say, tensions, Israel-Hezbollah conflict. So basically, this is the warship that is being deployed by United States. They're all in position to strike Hezbollah targets and also Iranian targets. Now, this is not the first time. In April, they had used same thing, warships to defend the state of Israel. Hezbollah threats to American and Israeli naval forces. So U.S., they deployed their warships there at that time. These things is getting very, very serious. Now, in retaliation, already U.S. has struck Iraq, the proxies working for Iran in Iraq. So U.S. they did carry out a strike in Iraq, of U.S. officials say. So guys, when we see this kind of news, we are already at war. The war is already happening. We are not going to see a war. The war is already here. And then we also have Iran raising their flags of revenge at the mosque of Zamkaran in Iran. Zamkaran. Now, this is not something very, very, you should take lightly. This is something very, very serious because, again, Iran means business just like Israel means business. Now, with that comes the saber rattling. So basically, U.S., they want this war. At least for some congressmen, this is exactly what U.S. should do. So we have seen statements from Lindsey Graham saying that if Hezbollah joins the war against Israel, we must strike Iran. This guy also has to keep in mind that Iran can strike back. Now, the problem with this kind of statement, this kind of saber rattling coming from this moron, is that Hezbollah already struck Israel. Northern Israel is completely in ruins. Did U.S. do anything against Iran? No, nothing. So when he says, well, if Hezbollah is attacking Israel, then we're going to go and attack Iran. We should. I mean, he issued warning, but definitely nothing happened. I mean, who could do anything against Hezbollah? They are not diaper army. They have lot of men, they have a lot of weapons, and they are ready for business. Now, obviously, this is something that was praised by Donald Trump himself. Take a look.
And then 2 nights ago, I read all of Biden's security people. Can you imagine? National defense people. And they said, gee, I hope Hezbollah doesn't attack from the north because that's the most vulnerable spot. I said, wait a minute. You know, Hezbollah is very smart. They're all very smart. The press doesn't like when they say it. I said that President Xi of China, 1.4 billion people, he controls it with an iron.
Okay, so he's praising Hezbollah. They're very, very smart. He's praising China. He's praising everybody else except United States. Obviously, that is because of Joe Biden. He doesn't like him, and he's going to be competing against the Democratic Party. Guys, what I find the most interesting and very, very frustrating at the same time is Saudi Arabia, UAE, Jordan helping Israel. So basically, we are seeing this kind of report that Saudi Arabia admits they have helped defend Israel against Iran's attack. Now, this is not the first time we are seeing Saudi Arabia is doing this. They had many, many times in the past helped Israel, including the countries like Jordan, UAE, and some other African countries, even some so-called Muslim countries. The only country that has joined Iran, and this is coming as the latest, very recent news, is Algeria. Now, Algeria, they said that we are going to be helping Iran when they will strike Israel, which is coming very, very soon. Other than this country, no other country, Muslim country, is doing anything. In fact, they're doing the exact opposite. So when we talk about Muslim countries coalescing to help Iran or to stop this nonsense, this genocide taking place in Gaza, we need to understand that these Muslim countries, they don't care. I mean, they don't have anything that they can do. They don't want to do anything. I mean, they have nothing to do and they don't want to do anything. In fact, they're going to help Israel. Anytime Iran will strike Israel or any country, Yemen, Lebanon, and Hezbollah, Saudi Arabia and all of these countries, they are going to help Israel. They are going to give them intelligence. They're going to give them protection. The airspace will not be used, as I have mentioned in my other videos. They are going to be protecting Israel more than their own countries. Trust me, they care about Israel more than their own countries, because obviously these dictators who are sitting in power and position, they are being appointed by the Zionists. So that is the Zionist puppets, these countries they have, they're not going to do nothing to stop Israel committing this genocide. The other country that is talking against Israel openly and said we're going to intervene is Turkey. But Turkey has big problem with the military coup, and that happened in the 2016, if you don't remember. They wanted to kick out Erdogan from power. There was this revolt taking place at that time, and Erdogan, because of his popularity, he survived that revolt. That mutiny, I think, kind of like happened. But right now, even if Erdogan wants to do something, even if he wants to send troops, he doesn't know how his military will react. Some of them might go against him. They might even say, we don't want to fight. You're, sending us to Gaza. Erdogan, he's dealing with this problem in his own country, which I understand why he is not taking any step. It is just talk and talk. And I think a lot of people like myself, we're frustrated with Erdogan's saber rattling. But we have to understand this guy, he's just survived a coup in his own country in 2016. But for Saudi Arabia and all of these other countries not doing anything, and on top of this helping Israel, I mean, I don't have any specific evidence to show you that they helped Israel this way or that way. But we don't have to go into the nitty-gritty. Just take a look at Jordan's king Abdullah. He said himself that we are going to be intercepting any missile coming from Iran to Israel. We are not gonna Iran use our airspace, in other words. But this is something we find to be very, very shameful, to be honest with you.
We start with this Fox News alert. Hamas has confirmed their top political leader has been killed in a strike in Iran. It marks the most serious escalation in the Middle East since October 7th and increases the threat of a wider war breaking out across that region.
Okay, so basically they're Fox News, pro-Zionist, they're admitting that this is the biggest escalation since October 7th. It was not when Israel struck Iranian embassy in Syria. That was not the biggest escalation, according to Fox News. The biggest escalation is when they killed Ismail Haniyeh, right? This is the biggest. So you have to understand how significant this is. It could be, culminating into a wider war. And this is what I'm thinking, because Russia, they have big problem with Israel doing what they're doing in Iran. Russia, they are now speaking up, not because of attack in Lebanon or elsewhere by Israel, but because Israel went inside of Iran. And Iran and Russia, they have pacts that Russia will protect Iran in some way, shape, or form, whether it is the S-400 cruise missile, the defense system they have, or any other batteries that they have deployed there. But they do have mutual understanding, like they're becoming very, very close to each other, and they are a military alliance. Russia and Iran, they're a military alliance. Every time Russia goes to war and they target new territories inside Ukraine, who helps them out? It is Iran. And when Iran is in trouble, Russia has moral obligation and military obligation to help out Iran likewise. Therefore, it is going to be a much wider escalation. This is what Fox News is probably alluding to, because we now know that Israel desperately wanted U.S. to get involved in this war, and this is why they're targeting Ismail Haniyeh. There is absolutely no reason for them to target Ismail Haniyeh because he's not a threat. He's not a military personnel. He's a diplomat. He is someone who is in the politics of negotiation. He was working for the ceasefire. Why you kill him? Israel, the reason is because they know, Israel knows, when they kill him inside of Iran, not just killing him, but inside of Iran, then Iran is going to retaliate, and then they will ask US, now you have an excuse to get involved. You have to get involved. You have to protect Israel. Now it is about Israel's defense. So they're now hiding US military. Israel diaper army is hiding behind US's military. This is exactly what they planned. And the attack on the on the Golan Heights football pitch was also orchestrated by none other than Israel itself, because they wanted US to get involved. They want US to strike Iran. They want US to strike Iran, just like what this guy said, US congressman, this nincompoop, the guy, what is his name? Lindsey Graham, right? That's the guy. He said that we have to strike Iran, Iran, Iran. The problem is Iran, Iran, Iran. And this is what the Republicans are vowing for, that they want to destroy Iran. They want to attack Iran. And their excuse is that if we can attack Afghanistan, if we can go into Iraq, they went there in 2003, why can't we go and destroy Iran? The job is much easier. But US military, their intelligence is telling us and telling the US military, Iran is not a cup of cake or a cup of tea. You will be faced with vigorous and a very, very, strong military that Iran has. So Lindsey Graham, the warmongers, these military industrial complex, this perpetuator of war, they don't understand the basic equation. But obviously, looks like to me, Donald Trump does have some scruples to understand that it is not easy to take on Iran just like that.
Strike in Tehran comes hours after Israel says they killed a senior Hezbollah commander in Beirut.
So this is what Fox News was reporting. Now, there are some other reports coming, guys, from Benjamin Netanyahu. He's not saying anything about the killing of Ismail Haniyeh. Take a look what he's saying here.
There are challenging days ahead of us. Since the attack in Beirut, threats have been heard from all sides. We are prepared for any scenario and will stand united and determined against any threat.
Okay, so the problem, do you see the problem here? Every time you have a guest speaker from Israel, the pro-Zionist mouthpiece at Piers Morgan's show, when you ask them about Hamas, they will always say, including this lady, what's the name? I forgot the name. A few days ago, I actually made a video. She's a pro-Zionist, and she said pretty much that we should ban any pro-Palestinian protest in UK, in the States. She said, Hamas is evil. They are killing people. They do not want ceasefire. They are just out there to kill people. And other guests will say, well, look, this is always Hamas. They start this escalation. This is always Hezbollah. Israel never does anything. And then when they're asked and when it is pointed out to them that look what Israel is doing, why they struck Iranian target in Syria, now why they killed Ismail Haniyeh, they will be like, no, it's still Hamas because they are evil. They started all of this. Because of this, Israel struck Ismail Haniyeh. Because of Hamas, they killed 15,000-20,000 children. Because of Hamas. So it's always Hamas. That's how it all starts. This is the premise they use all the time. This is what we are seeing, guys. These lying machines, they never stop. I can guarantee you, guys, when you see an interview next time of Piers Morgan giving platform to these liars, they're going to say it is Hamas who starts all of this. Hamas. We don't do anything. We just sit and we do nothing. Now, we have a very good example how Israel started this escalation and how they will, again, run away from taking any responsibility.